Tifu by making my boyfriend a Tinder account. Okay, so necessary, this actually happened in the last couple of weeks. Basically my boyfriend suffers from pretty low self-esteem, like it's not like he's too bothered about his looks, but he rates himself a 5 out of 10 at best. Obviously I think he's gorgeous and handsome, but even though I've been saying this for years, he does not believe me. So, for some stupid reason, I decided to show him that other girls would find him attractive by making him a Tinder account. I set him up an account, make him a bio and just start swiping right. After a day he got around a dozen matches on Tinder, and after I showed this to him, I saw how he immediately became more confident and thanked me for the whole gesture. Cue my surprise when a couple of days later I checked the Tinder account I had basically forgotten after 24 hours, and I could see lots of messages sent to lots of the girls my BF had matched with. I confronted him and he denied it, but I mean these messages even included promises to meet each other. Obviously, we broke up, and out of curiosity I checked the Tinder account again after a week, and this breakup has clearly not slowed him down one bit. So now the Tinder I made for him not only broke us up, but is now helping him navigate his newly single life. Lol. TL, Doctor, made a Tinder account for my BF to prove that he is attractive, and he ended up ditching me for one of the girls he matched with. Edit. Wow, I did not expect this to blow up. Thank you so much for the gold and silver and for your kind words. It honestly touches me how absolutely lovely thousands of strangers can be. Also, if anyone needs help with their Tinder, lol, because I'm apparently pretty good at it. This is like something I'd expect to see on r/green text. And GT, be me, dating cute guy. And GT, he's got poor self-esteem, doesn't think he's cute. And GT, make him a Tinder. And GT, find out he likes Tinder more than he likes me. And GT, feel Spardman. JPEG. I get no love on Tinder, maybe you can help make my profile too. You should offer us service as a Tinder consultant to help guys hook up. 10 matches is an incredible number, you must be really skilled. Congratulations, you played yourself. Okay, this is epic. r/award speech edits. A couple months from now your ex-BF will be posting a Tifu like, my girlfriend made a Tinder profile for me to help improve my low self-esteem. Long story short, it worked. I matched with a lot of girls and started to think I was actually too good for her. I was wrong. It turns out I matched with a bunch of bots. Chicks who were only trying to get me to follow them on Instagram, and girls that looked absolutely nothing like their pictures. I ended up going on one date with a girl that seemed kind of nice, but she ghosted me. I'm starting to think I'll never find someone as great as my ex. Losing a good relationship for the abyss of swiping is the real zucchini up here. Wow, my first gold ex too. Thanks. Tifu by matching with my homophobic uncle on Grindr. So I have an uncle, we will call him Jay, who has always been very vocal about his disapproval of my sexuality. There is not a family gathering that goes by where he doesn't say something asshole-ish about homosexuality or me specifically. Well, this weekend in between family gatherings I was looking to meet somebody. I started chatting with an older man because that's how I roll. A lot of older guys don't like to show their faces because they aren't out, so I don't think much of it when he doesn't show me his face. We actually hit it off great, and after receiving a few pics I wish I could unsee and sending a few I wish I could take back, we decided to meet up for, well, you know. So I'm at this coffee shop down the street waiting for my man to show up, and you know who walks in. It is at this moment I realize my FU, I've been flirting with my zucchini-hating closeted uncle. Tried to play it off like a random encounter, but I wasn't letting him get away with that. After some pressing he finally admits that he is the man I've been talking to, and I told him I don't judge him like he does me. He apologized for the hurtful things he's said to me over the years. He kept talking with me like he was still interested, and I had to make it clear that was not going to happen. I had to get up and walk out, and after multiple texts from him I had to go ahead and block his number. I can't believe this guy had the nerve to judge me and treat me like less of a human being all these years when he's a total creep and a massive hypocrite. Always get a face pic, people. TL Doctor, chatted and eventually met up with a potential hookup that turned out to be my homophobic uncle. Should have insisted on the face pic. Edit. Yay, this blew up. too much to respond to, but I'll answer some pressing questions. I did, in fact, send a face pic so he did know who I was. It is pretty disturbing to say the least. As far as blackmail goes, I have everything saved, but I don't plan on doing anything with it as I think that could actually put me in danger. This man obviously has more problems than any of us could have known. Edit 2. This was fake. Edit is gullible and I cheesecake hate Tifu. It's all fake stories just like Tuk's chromosomes. Get baited. AMA. The closeted part ain't weird. The are we still doing this? Attitude is. Yeah, it's strange how people are focusing mostly on that. I think the weirdest part is he wanted to banana his nephew. I'd love to get an update on how the next family gathering is going and if he changed his behavior. The uncle still being interested after the big reveal is the best part here. So, do you not show your face on your profile either? Is it all shadows and weird angles? Edit, I was asking because the op explicitly states that the guy he matched with didn't show his face because it's pretty typical for older dudes not to show their face. That statement implies that op did show his face, which is why I was wondering. This story takes on a pretty different tone if op's uncle matched with him and saw his face in his profile and still went through with it anyway, as I inferred he did from that sentence. Buddy of mine is butternut, can confirm that, at least in this area, Grindr is 90% shadows and weird angles. It's not banana if you say no chromo. Tifu by telling a stranger I can't wait to cheesecake them tonight. Disclaimer: this happened at least 6 years ago and was deeply repressed by shame. I only remembered it in a conversation with my wife when she asked, "What was your most embarrassing moment?" So I was at a work party, and my GF at the time, not currently my wife, offered to pick me up and drive me home, knowing I would get fully sloshed at the party. He was right. On the way home, I ask her to pull into a gas station for cigarettes. She pulls her light blue Jeep into the parking lot. I stumble out of the Jeep, go in, and complete my purchase. I, over-aggressively, yank open the passenger's door to the blue Jeep, plop myself down on the seat, and say to my GF, "I can't wait to get home and cheesecake the cheesecake out of you." Was not expecting to get hit in the face. I also did not expect the loudest goddamn screaming I've ever heard in my life. Instinctively, I covered up my face and wondered what the hell I said wrong, as it was not uncommon for either of us to say something like that to each other. The screaming was intense and sounded very scared, so I couldn't really make out what my GF was yelling, until between punch 3 or 4, when I heard, clear as a bell, "You zucchini, get the zucchini out of my car." Whoa whoa whoa, instant sobriety. I uncovered my face and looked up, finally dawning on me that although I was in a blue Jeep, it was not my GF's blue Jeep. My GF's identical blue Jeep was parked next to and blocked by this random woman's blue Jeep. I finally tumbled out of the car, went to my GF's car, and told her what happened. She convinced the woman not to call the police to tell them about some crazy guy breaking into her car and telling her he was gonna cheesecake her. I did not coconut anyone that night. TL, doctor, drunkenly got into the wrong car, assumed the driver was my GF, and told her I was going to zucchini her. My grandma was on the receiving end of something like this once. She was sitting at Walmart waiting on my grandpa when some other old guy opened the door and said, "I'm back, dear," or something to that effect. Then sat down. Grandma looked over at him and said, "You're in the wrong car, darling." The guy jumped at the unfamiliar voice and started apologizing profusely. Grandpa came back. Grandma told him she almost left with another man. That's the kind of joke everyone should, but almost nobody can tell to their significant other. Well, that made me feel better about accidentally saying "I love you" to a patient instead of goodbye the other day. When I work as a firefighter, and there have been a few times where one of us, firefighters, accidentally say "I love you" while getting off of the phone with other FFs instead of our spouses. So, to fix that, we just started saying "I love you" to each other all the time. Ending a phone call? "I love you." Leaving work? "I love you." Lol. It's hilarious and awesome because we actually do care deeply for each other like a family. It makes you wonder how this would have ended if the lady in the wrong Jeep had said yes. "Hey babe, I can explain." Was she traveling with someone? Imagine the beating you would have taken if, For example, she was traveling with a boyfriend and he happened to be heading towards the stranger's Jeep around the same that you accidentally invited yourself in. Chalk this up as an overall win and a funny story. In my state, she could have pulled a gun and killed him. Guy is lucky. I did this except the part where I told the owner of the vehicle I was going to bang the hell out to them. It was also in the middle of the day and I was dead sober, so it's even more awkward. Parked at the post office, extremely distracted as I had a ton of things to do in very small amount of time that day. Line took forever, so I ran out the door and hopped into the first gold Impala I see. Then I wonder why there's beads on my driver's set. And then I see an older, I was about 30 at the time, woman looking at me terrified in the passenger seat. And then I realized I was in the wrong Impala. I profusely apologized to the lady, point to my car next to hers, and we both crack up. I have a silver Ford Fusion, and someone with the same car must have parked right next to me. Happens a lot since they're so common and it's kinda a running joke. Most I've participated in was 4 side by side. I get to my car, and I noticed the seat in the front was all torn up, and I jerked the door open and said an audible no. I'm super lucky the driver was cool, and must have overheard me, because he just came up and tapped me on the shoulder and pointed to mine. In that situation I probably would have immediately called the cops. Edit, I just spent a full minute trying to figure out why my key wouldn't unlock my car in a restaurant parking lot. What a cheesecake crazy coincidence. I talked about it today. The irony is, the first time the button didn't work, I thought, hey, what if this is just like the conversation I was having on Reddit? Lo and behold.